Hi. My family and I have a hankering for something that I've never made before. We love to order it at restaurants, but we've never made it at home. That's Nashville hot chicken. So I had an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work. I found a rub for a Nashville hot seasoning, and I'm gonna use these chicken tenders because I'm thinking about and I made some homemade like hamburger bun size rolls with my sourdough. And so I'm thinking like 2 really yummy, crispy, seasoned fingers on a bun with maybe some mayo and dill pickle slices. Sounds good, right? But like I said, a total experiment. So I don't know if it'll work, but I'll keep you posted.
The first step was to make the Nashville hot seasoning mix. I found this one from chiliandsmoke.com. I'll put the link down in the comments, and I'll also pop up the recipe here on the screen now. I made a slight adjustment to the chilies and smoke recipe. I did not have, they wanted chipotle powder, which I didn't have. So I substituted the chipotle blah, blah, blah. That's like another tongue twister. I substituted the chipotle oh my God, I did it again. The chipotle powder for plain old chili powder, which I already had in my pantry. One thing I really like about this recipe is that it's really a sweet hot combination. That is one of my favorite flavor combos. A little sweet to your heat. Oh, that is so good. So this recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I used light brown sugar and just mixed that into the spices. And then it was ready to season the chicken. Okay, here's how I prepped my chicken tenderloin pieces. I got a little lucky that the package that I opened of these chicken tenderloin pieces had 10 pieces of chicken in it, which was perfect because I wanted to make 5 sandwiches with 2 chicken tenders each. I don't know if y'all do this, but I cut out the little tendony thing that's on these chicken tender pieces. It's just this weird little rubbery piece, and I just take my kitchen shears and snip that little bit off. It's not, something you have to do, but it's something that I always do when I'm making these chicken tenders in any recipe. So I coated both sides with my seasoning mix, and I just put a little drying rack over this baking sheet just to catch the little pieces and try to keep my kitchen clean-ish as I worked through this recipe. Now it's time to put a nice yummy batter coating on these chicken pieces. All right, I prepped 2 bowls. In the first one there is an egg mixture. It's 2 eggs and about 1 cup of milk. The recipe that other recipes I've was looking at when I was prepping this one called for buttermilk. I don't have buttermilk in my fridge. If I make this again, which I think I will, because spoiler alert, it did turn out really yummy, I would use some buttermilk. But, I just didn't have any today, so I just used regular milk. Okay, in that flour bowl, I have about 1 cup and a half of flour, and I added some of that spice mix to the flour and just mixed it up, just to give a little bit more flavoring to that coating. I probably put about a tablespoon or so of the seasoning mix that I made, and like I said, just mixed it up. So it's a 2-step process. You flour or coat in the flour mixture your little chicken piece on both sides. Then you do the egg wash, and then you go back into the flour. And then I put it back on that rack. That rack is very handy as the day went on, as this project got a little messier and messier. But I coated all of the pieces this way. And then it's almost time for the cooking. You guys, I have never fried chicken in my life, so I was very nervous here. So I had the oil heating up in the pan. I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in just a sec. But I was feeling very optimistic and proud of myself as those chicken tenders fried right up, I'm going to be quiet for a minute so you can hear this yummy sizzle that's happening. Doesn't that sound good? Okay. So I have memories of my mom frying chicken when I was a kid, but I never paid too much attention about it or to it, and I need to ask her about it. but I've never done it in my own kitchen. So here's what I did. And again, a bit of an experiment. I was just kind of going with it. This is a cast iron skillet that we actually usually use when we go camping. So it's not a precious piece of, equipment or anything. It's pretty utilitarian. I put in some plain old vegetable oil and I heated it up to 350 degrees. Do you all have an instant read digital thermometer yet? If you don't, oh my goodness, you need one. It's really one of my just most valuable tools in the kitchen. So I made sure that the oil was heated to 350 degrees. Then I put the chicken pieces in. I cooked them for 3 minutes per side, and then I checked each one with that instant read thermometer again to make sure that the internal temp was up to at least 165 degrees. That's how you know your chicken is cooked thoroughly and would be safe to eat. Okay, I finished cooking all 10 pieces of chicken, and I did 2 batches, 5 pieces of chicken each time. That worked great. Now it's time to make this yummy sauce. I was super nervous about this part, pan of hot oil, but it actually went okay. Yeah, that was my nervous face, but it was really fine. This pan has that nice little spouty edge, which worked great. So I decided just to use my little Pyrex, measuring, little contraption there. What would you call that? Not a contraption, but anyway, and poured it into there because that seemed the easiest way to do this. Then I put in some brown sugar and cayenne pepper. Now, it's time to sauce up this beauty of a sandwich. This really does make this sandwich so special. So that brown sugar dissolved pretty well into that hot oil. And then I just drizzled it over the top. I prepped the bun with a little mayonnaise on each side of the bun. And then those are dill pickle slices. It's so saucy and kind of messy. But oh my gosh, so good. I'm getting so excited to try it. This bun, by the way, is my homemade sourdough hamburger buns, which I will make a separate video about. But let's slice her open and take a look. Oh my gosh, so good. Yeah, we better take a bite, huh?
Is it too hot? Oh, it's gonna be perfect. Oh, slippery. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. It's so good.
I really hope you guys give this recipe a try. It was so good. And I have to tell you, I felt so proud of myself for frying up that chicken. It was not as scary as I thought it would be. It turned out so delicious. And my family absolutely loved it. So if you've never tried frying chicken or doing Nashville hot chicken at home, I hope this video gives you a little bit of courage and incentive to give it a try. This is definitely one we'll do again. Yeah, boy, it was a good one. All right, everyone, till next time. Thanks so much for watching.